I use, red light glasses. I make sure to get morning and evening sun. My nutrition's in check. And I was wondering, like, if people just did some of these practices for a prolonged period of time, their testosterone would probably go up because, we've heard that like back in the 20s and 30s, like our grandfathers or whatever, they had a higher average testosterone than most young men do now. And then Smokey mentioned something interesting. He's like, yeah, I'll do some of that stuff. You take stuff to the next level because you're wearing blue blockers. I'm not going to do that. But he then asked me, he's like, what is some habit that you couldn't do without, right? That speeds up your progress. I'm like, well, getting good sleep because that allows me to do everything else well. So I get to recover well. He's like, well, taking some testosterone allows me to kind of like cheat code a little bit. Like to get to like levels of, I think he mentioned like 800 to 1,000 nanograms per deciliter. He's like, I don't have to have everything in check for me to be able to be at adequate levels, right? I can go without the blue blockers. I can get decent sleep. And it's like that, he mentioned it's like, because I was asking him this too, and sorry to ramble on guys, but this is where the question stemmed from. I just remembered. I asked him, hey, if a young kid gets on test, how can you explain to them, like, if you're doing that, you're going to feel really good, but why would you ever want to stop, right? If you go to feeling really good while on HRT, why would you ever stop doing it? And Smokey was like, yeah, I mean, like there doesn't make to be any reason why I'd stop now since I've already been doing it. It'd be like if you started getting bad sleep. Like, obviously, there's no reason you would fuck up your sleep. That's what I would feel if I stopped taking testosterone. So it's an odd thing. It makes you wonder, like, there's a certain age where maybe you do want to get on, but do you ever get off? Is there ever a reason to get off?
People used to.
Yeah, I was going to just real quick, you'll have a way
used
better.
To off of crazy dosages, right? Like,
yeah, they used to cycle, yeah.
Yeah.
Before you give like a legit really good answer, Mark, I would just say, like, if you hate pinning yourself like on a regular basis, like, I mean, you got to deal with fucking injecting yourself multiple times a week. Like, that's a literal pain in the ass sometimes. So it's like, I could imagine somebody being like, whatever, we'll say 20 years old, being like, nope, I'm going to do this forever. It's like, well, fuck, dude. What if 20 years in, you're just like, goddamn, I'm tired of it. Like, you're fucked. Like, you have to keep doing it at that point. I mean, again, 40, maybe I'll say 10 years, because at 30 years old, you should still have plenty of natural testosterone, but you've already crushed it for 10 years. And so, like, I mean, we'll say 2 pins a week for 10 years straight. It's a lot of needles that are being injected.
Pat Brock's family, I hope you guys are doing well. Now, we love meat. We love to eat meat on this podcast. We've talked about it. Yeah, we talked about it a lot. That's why I partnered with Piedmontese, because they have amazing cuts of steaks, some that have a lot of fat, some that are a bit lower fat, but no matter what diet you're on, you can fit Piedmontese steak into your diet. It's fucking good. Andrew, how can they get it?
Yes, you guys got to head over to Piedmontese.com. If you guys know how to spell it, say it with me. That's PIEDMONTESE.com, and at checkout, enter promo code POWER for 25% off your entire order. And if your order is $150 or more, you get free 2-day shipping. Links to them down in the description, as well as the podcast show notes. Let's get back to the podcast.
I'm just having a lot of fun with what I do. I love training. I love running. Because I chose to do performance enhancing drugs a long time ago. I just have chose, like, I think this is what I'm probably going to do for a long time. I might come off at some point and test that out as well. I think I'm young enough to fuck with that and kind of see what that would look like. I mean, why not? And even if I went back on, all it would do is give me like more results, just because I would
resensitize yourself.
Yeah, basically, resensitize myself, and it would be like starting all over again, in some ways. So halfway would suck, but halfway would be like a great challenge and would be a lot of fun. I think people just got to they got to like kind of think about what they think is going to be best for them. And performance enhancing drugs has been it's been a pretty big part of my life. Like it's been a tool that has assisted a bunch of stuff that I really enjoy, that I really love doing.
Yeah. And
probably like Nsima probably feels great every day, learning new stuff and tackling some of these things. And I feel the same fucking way. I just made a different choice. We're just on different ends of the spectrum when it comes to that. But I made the choice. I feel like everything's clicking, everything's going really good. I just got more blood work done. I'll have the results back on that, but I've been pretty consistent over the last couple of years with getting blood work done.
Nice.
I've had things be off before, but we ran through some of my blood work on one of the shows, right? And we talked about it forever. And I've had things come and go up and down, and like there has never been anything except for when I was heavy, when I was powerlifting, that was like a real red flag. There has never been anything like where it's been wacky, but I have had red blood cell count be high and like some shit like that. But those are things that I track, that I watch. I pay attention to it, and I don't want to, just because I like PEDs, I don't want to be unhealthy. I don't want to just completely throw out other aspects of my health. And I do realize that they do carry some dangers. So when I get the blood work done, I try to be as diligent as I can with it, but also to like, I don't know, a reasonable extent. Like how far do I really, do I want to like be on the spot with every fucking thing that I do? I'm working on it. It's like a work in progress. I try to do a little bit better at each thing all the time, and I'm getting better sleep. I'm lifting better. My mobility is getting better. Like it seems like everything's continuing to improve, and it seems like I can continue to improve at a bunch of different things all at the same time. So for me, it feels good. I just don't feel like I have any reason to change it. So if you're somebody that's young, that's like trying to up your game, and you're trying to get stronger, and you don't necessarily like performance enhancing drugs is not where you start. And I know like I've taken them for a long time, but it wasn't where I started. Like just start lifting, start running, start doing some of the things, whatever it is that you want to do, play around with it, mess around with some supplements, see what happens with some supplements, see what happens with eating more food. Eat 6 times a day. Try to eat 10 times a day. I mean, I remember times of consuming 400 grams of protein and 500 grams of protein. I remember times of consuming 400 or 500 grams of carbs and doing all kinds. I'm sure you did a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah.
I did the inch on the arms in 1 day program. I've done German volume training. I've done every fucking thing that you can kind of think of almost. I've tried a lot of different stuff, and it's all been fun. And then I just got to a certain point where I wanted to kind of make a push to do something slightly different, to be able to take things to another level. And I personally felt for myself that I needed to do that. For somebody else, it might not look the same way. They just might make a decision to compete and just fucking work harder. And maybe they don't decide to do PEDs. So just figure out, like, I don't think there's any reason to, like, everyone gets so worked up over this topic all the time. But
yeah,
you got to just pick what you feel is going to be good for you.
And you need to clarify, I'm not anti-TRT or HRT. I'm anti-TRT and HRT for young guys that don't actually need it.
They don't need it.
Like,
I agree.
Especially young guys who haven't gotten their habits in check. Like, let's say that they're drinking a bunch, they're barely getting sleep, they're half-assing their workouts. Like, no, like I'm actually anti when it comes to those guys. But
you're going to look half-assed though.
Yeah.
You're going to look half-assed. You're going to take some shit. You're still not going to look that good. You're still not going to be that strong. So just fucking chill. Like, get some good habits together first.
Yeah. But I mean, even if you're in your late 30s or 40s or whatever, if you want to go that route, at least have your habits in check, go for it. Like that's fine. And again, even if you're in your 20s, you're an adult, you make whatever decision you want to make. But those are the guys that I'm really just stay away for a while. Because you just see that way too much with 18 and 19-year-old dudes. And of course they can make their own decisions, but you see that, you're like, what if you just lifted for 5 more years, bro? Like, what if you just really came in and liked this lifestyle?
You might find that you never need it.
Maybe.
That's kind of cool.
But the big thing that I just don't think young guys don't think about is what does happen when you want to come off? Like what actually does happen? Because I don't think they think about that shit,
It's never talked about what happens when you come off steroids, but it sucks. I mean, you can get, erectile dysfunction is really fun. Like, that's a really awesome one. A lot of times acne happens because of the hormone change, like because your hormones are dropping. Sometimes it doesn't happen for everybody when they first go on stuff. Your mood could change a lot, your kind of brain chemistry, and especially for younger guys. I think most men who are in their like late 20s and 30s and 40s and stuff think back to when they were like 16 or 18 and they're like, yeah, I was pretty aggressive sometimes, when I was younger. And imagine if you're younger and you go on a cycle and you get big and strong and you're excited about some of this new growth and you are pretty happy with a lot of this progress that you're getting, and then you cut that shit out because your parents found it in your bedroom or whatever, and you got to come off stuff. I mean, it's a very dangerous position to be in, because not only could you find yourself being angry, you could also find yourself being like very depressed. So people need to be, what kind of person are you? Are you the kind of person that has depression and things like that? Well, testosterone can certainly actually help you on a more positive level when it comes to something like depression. However, it's still not, I mean, I've said it in Bigger, Stronger, Faster. The movie's fucking really old at this point. I said, steroids aren't for kids. And I would like to see young people, and even someone who's just young to lifting, even if you're 35, but you just started lifting, pour some time into it. And I don't know, just why not find out what's going to happen if you work hard for 30 days, reevaluate at the end of 30 days. Like, I stuck to all my habits, all the things that I wanted to do in the gym.
Hey, I know you guys enjoyed the video, so like, comment, subscribe, and head to the Power Project Discord below. Talk to y'all later.